Hey, Curvies. Come on in the room, Grand Rising. Gonna have to close this garage door. I'm in the garage working out this morning. Come on in. Thanks for coming in this morning. Curvies, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Let's see. Make sure you ring the bell on your way in, smash the like button. Thanks for coming in. It's May Day, you guys. It's May 1st. Let me close this garage for some more cars come. There. Okay. You guys, hey. So I'm in my garage. Hey, y'all. I'm in my garage in my home gym. Look, I have a home gym. I don't be using it often. But I decided May 1st was day one again, you guys. May 1st is day one. And I'm not going to show you guys me sweating some more. But I wanted to talk to you guys about stuff while I am riding my bike and whatnot. That'll be the easiest thing to do. I'll ride this bike. So if you guys hear some stuff, if you guys hear a sound, then that's me riding this bike. Okay? So don't be alarmed. Your girl is exercising at 7 o'clock, 20 minutes, get a warm up, and then I'll move on to something else. Okay, so she's riding her bike. Thanks for coming in. Make sure you smash the buttons. So, darn, you can't even see my thumbnail right. But RHOA, we have a thought problem. The queen of Thoughtlandia is being thoughtish. And that's like so played out, IMO. That means in my opinion for you boomers. And I did a little short video. I tried this new AI generator. Like I did a script and then I uploaded it and it generated like my thoughts, but with this other lady's voice. And the feedback I've gotten is you guys don't like that. So next time I'll use my voice, but let it generate a little cartoon reel. And so basically in the video, I was saying the same thing. We have a thought problem, but I was more posing the question. And for you curvies, I'm going to pose the question to you. On your way in, make sure you're smashing buttons, ringing bells. And dang, I should put a poll up here. Let me see. Can I add a poll? No, I don't see a poll. But I can write a comment and stick it there. Um, do you guys think it's appropriate for a woman husband stiller, Portia Williams? And okay, you guys know I was totally hashtag Team Love Wins when Portia and Fallon found themselves together with the same man. I was not mad at it because Portia really was not stealing a man's that has a wife that was already pregnant. But technically, she was. Technicalities count, you guys. And the technicality is that he was, in fact, still married. He was very much, in fact, still married. And she didn't have no problem mentioning her interest in Fallon's life the season Fallon was on. Do you guys remember? She went over to the house. She's like, oh, this is a nice house. Oh, that's a nice ring. And then later on, she's like, well, Fallon has a private jet. So she was totally coveting that lady's life. And um, well, to me, it was coveting. Like she was noticing way too hard. That was envy, not jealousy. Did you guys know there's a difference between envious and jealous? And that you can be jealous, but um it's a sin to be envious. Yeah, Google it. I believe that's what it is. Envy means like you want it, but you don't want them to have it. And jealousy is like, oh, I wish I could have that, and I want to get it too, and they can have some too. But it's the energy behind the action of envy that makes it worse. And I felt like Portia, Queen of Thoughtlandia, she used to be the princess. Now she's the queen. And if she don't watch out, then PJ about to be the princess of Thoughtlandia, watching her mom the way her mom moves. I said it. I'm concerned for Brooklyn on this cast with the mom like Kenya. I'm very concerned um, that she may be in competition with her own daughter. And because she doesn't get along with women. So how is she getting along with her daughter? Yeah. And now over here with the Queen of Thoughtlandia being known, she's becoming known like her new brand, Portia's new brand. Everything I say here is allegedly, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes, by the way. But allegedly, Portia's new brand is a husband stealer and practically an adulterer. If you're having sex with married people, that makes you an adulterer. If you are coveting Angela Oakley's husband, because she's actually, if you think about it, the way that Portia said the little sly things about Fallon when Fallon was on, and then ended up cozying up to Simon, it's the same thing right now. So far, she's mentioned Charles at the bank. She knows it gets under Angela's skin. And then Angela has told her, keep my husband's name out your mouth. And this bitch keeps talking about Angela's husband. She does not respect marriage. She does not respect boundaries. And she is not a good look for the show. I mean, we're on the Housewives show. This isn't Love and Zeus. This isn't a cabaret show. Like, what the fuck? Can we let Housewives shows continue to um, be about families and freaking love and relationships and navigating those without one of the castmates actively pursuing and making it hard for other relationships on her same cast? Like, that's not anything I want for entertainment. I watch these shows to escape, and in my real life, I got a fine ass husband, and in my real life, if bitches look too long or linger too long, it's a problem. And especially a bitch like Portia. If she mentioned that she wanted to try to fuck me, it would be on and popping. Did you guys hear what Dr. Heavenly said? Let me play you guys what Dr. Heavenly said. Let's see, where are my glasses? Let's see, I'm in the chat. Mademoiselle, thanks for coming through. Portia is disgusting. I'm with Dr. Heavenly. Yes. Envy, someone will kill you. Yes. I heard a sermon a long time ago about envy. Exactly, Mademoiselle. We are on the same page. And happy May Day to you, beautiful. Um, yeah. But so let me pull up what Dr. Heavenly said. Let's see. Whoa, whoa, because I got my boots on the ground. Where the fans at? Let's see. I'm kind of missing some shows on Bravo. Like, there's nothing for me Yes, happy May Day. There's nothing for me to watch on TV. I tried to do the Valley. Look, I tried. Emmanuel and Krista really wanted me to see it, and they were like, "Oh, you'll like it," but I don't. Now that being admitted that they're all freaking cokeheads and alcoholics, shit for entertainment, entitled cokeheads arguing, drunk, bickering, whatever. I don't think I can indulge. I do not believe I can indulge on that shit. I haven't watched this week, and I did watch, like I said, the first two episodes, but then I've been seeing some stuff on TikTok. Jax has a TikTok. And so that makes me feel like everything we're seeing during the season is a waste of time because he's supposedly trying to make amends, but in real life, he's not changed. So why am I wasting my time watching it? He's not changed. Everybody needs their teeth done. Everybody needs some help. Right. The best ways to get ahead is home ownership. So y'all first. Let's see. Wait. Best of the day. But listen, stay up, guys. Just know there is a God. Stay prayed up. Get you a day. Yeah, stay prayed up. Barely take technology anyway. Okay. Where is the clip? God has never failed us. What else I want to talk about? Trump. They say he in 100 days. But God says prayer without work is what? Dead. We gotta work. We gotta work. We gotta get out there and do something, say something, keep ourselves informed. I know God has never failed us. I love you, Dr. Heaven, too. You're real for tea, yeah? Thanks. All right. It's getting a barely take technology anyway, okay? You finally sound like the boss you are. Finally. Maybe I've been a boss. They ain't never stopped that. I don't know what you're talking about. I've been a boss. Right? I'll always be a boss. Can you hear this okay? Today, education, that's so important. They can't take that away from you guys. Get educated. I know they're trying to take it and say it doesn't mean anything because Black women are leading in it. Education. Healthcare. A lot of people don't have healthcare or they don't have. Don't even worry about it. They know, the people know. Okay, here it is. I found it. What else? Business owners. You know, we got to take care of business owners, the people, small business, the people, get them loans for their business, loans, home loans. You know, that's the only way to get ahead in the United States. One of the best ways to get ahead. I don't know what that is. Somebody hollering and screaming over there, y'all. The best ways to get ahead is home ownership. So for y'all first time buyers, get out there, find out what plans they got available for first time home buyers. And guys, always stay ahead of the game. What else? So I want to say, no, I'm wrong for this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Y'all talk about sleeping with my man, words. Just saying. I ain't talking about nobody. Y'all say y'all gonna sleep with her, we got to fight. Especially if you pretty. Especially if you think you probably could do it. You gonna sleep with my man. Please don't, because I'm gonna have to. Every time I see you, it's gonna be on site. Chad, don't even worry about it. They know, the people know. It's on, y'all. It's on site. Praise God, my little man. Leave my little man out of it, baby. Because we're gonna thank God for everything. I ain't trying to be messy today, but listen, stay up, guys. Just know there is a. So that was Dr. Heavenly. I'm gonna play it one more time. She's obviously talking about Portia with no names. You can hear Alora, who just took her graduation pictures, in the background. I think those were graduation pictures on her page. And she's like, "Who said that? Like, who said it? My daddy." Like, and she's like, "Don't worry about it. They know who I'm talking about." But let's listen again to Dr. Heavenly chime in. And it's very interesting because the housewife sphere is kind of torn on this. There are so many people that because Ken is who Ken is, they simply agree with her. Like, there's nothing to see here, folks. She didn't go too far. And now with the Portia thing, there are some people feel away and other people don't. So, but I agree with Dr. Heavenly. You come for mine, and it's on. It's on and popping. Don't come over here threatening nothing with your Jezebel. Nothing. To get ahead in the United States, here's Dr. Heavenly Scott. I don't know what that is. Somebody hollering and screaming over there, y'all. The best ways to get ahead is home ownership. So they find out what plans they got available for first time home buyers. And guys, always stay ahead of the game. What else? I want to say, Sim. No, I'm wrong for this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Y'all talking about sleeping with my man, don't say words. Just saying. I ain't talking about nobody. Y'all say y'all gonna sleep with her, we gotta fight. Especially if you pretty. Especially if you think you probably could do it. Say you gonna sleep with my man. Please don't, because I'm gonna have to every time I see you, it's gonna be on site. Chad, don't even worry about it. They know, the people know. It's on y'all. It's on site. See that? So Dr. Heavenly is a bona fide wife. And that's the other thing. Like, so over there on Married to Medicine, they usually try to lie on Dr. Heavenly, the one lady that totally believes in marriage and supports marriage and is literally a relationship expert. They be trying to lie on her and say she's trying to break up marriages, cone Tessa's forehead, and be lying, and her weaves be lying. And that's not the truth. They attack Dr. Heavenly's marriage on a regular basis and try to pretend like she's doing, or Dr. Damon's doing some shit when all their husbands are the only ones doing some shit, been proven to do some shit. So I'm not with, for entertainment purposes, having any form of Black love devolve into blood sport. I don't know. I'm not with it. You would see me on Snapped, right? Which is why I'm single, right? Like, you would literally see, that's how Snapped happens. That's how Snapped happens. Okay? Instead of that's how shit happens, that's how Snapped happens. Come over here and mess with me and mine. That's how Snapped happens. I'm gonna make a shirt. That's how Snapped happens. But so everybody knows in the episode Boots on the Ground, the ladies were in Nashville. Angela was on the way. No, Drew was on the way. Angela invited Drew. And this is very similar. I'm feeling like a lot of people not have original ideas anymore on these shows. So across the franchises in Bravo sphere, there have been many cast trips where one person is excluded and somebody on the cast gets told by production to make sure that that person gets an invite from them so that they can make the scene better, because the current people in the scene aren't enough, and the mere fact that the person doesn't really want the other person there is going to be good drama for TV. So we can't pretend like we don't know that's going to happen. So an example of that, again, going to Married to Medicine, was when Sweet and Sour had her Pimps Up Hoes Down event, where she was trying to get the old pimps to find some new hoes because it was a sugar baby event. Even though she said it wasn't a sugar baby event, she swears she's a sugar baby with access to the money. So her complete brand is off. She says one thing and then it's the other. But so Sweet and Sour was acting like that was really her party. And when Dr. Rabbit walked in with Dr. Heavenly to the event, remember Sweet and Sour tried to play all, nah, 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 nah. Why are you at my event, bitch? Because her production wanted me here. Why was Quad at your baby shower? Because production wanted her there. You know, the only reason most of the people are in places on these shows is because production. Why was Apollo on the sandbar? Because production wanted him there. So, really? Yeah, that's how it works. So you can't get all mad when production wants Drew there and they let Drew come with Angela. Now, for the people in the chat, I have some serious concerns about, like, I'm just really still trying to figure out, where did Ken get the information, the story about Ming Lee and all that, and the pictures in the phone. Yeah, that's part of it. But I keep feeling like for Kenya to specifically have said Drew didn't give it to her, but Drew was the last person in the room with Ming Lee, Akila or whatever her name was, and the other lady who's a thirst bucket, like the leftovers is what we'll call them, that was in the studio at Kenya Moore's re-grand closing. There was some leftovers. Everybody else walked out. Production ran out. All the other housewives ran out. The only people who stayed, I feel, were the people who were complicit in a way and had no problem with what she did because they knew she was going to do it. That's just what it was given to me. And Drew lingered behind. Drew was the only housewife who did not leave. Portia, Kelly, Angela, Cynthia, everybody else left except for Drew. And from what they said, well, I don't know if she was waiting for a ride or why she couldn't ride back with the people that was there. I don't know. But she was there at way after a lot of people. And then at the peace dinner, at the peace brunch for Brit afterwards, I feel like Angela and Drew specifically are really checking for Ken. And I'm like, didn't these bitches just meet Ken 3 episodes ago? Like for Angela specifically, like she just met Kenya, right? They hadn't been kicking it this whole time. She wasn't like a friend of behind the scenes, even though Angela Oakley had been asked to be on the show for at least twice before and she declined. And so why does Angela care about Brit's license? Why was she questioning her like that? I felt like Angela asked her in a nosy ass way. It was very aggressive the way she asked. Oh, well, you need a thing to get. Why would they have done that? And people are saying that she would have lied when it's not, it wasn't a lie. I feel like Shamia repeated it wrong. That's what I really feel like. Her and her good playing all the time ass. She's playing a lot. And I could see her being like, oh, she said she lost her license because they had all already talked about it. So then Angela was like, oh, I'm going to be like, you need a pause. Because Angela would know. We already went over the Reddit thread that shows Angela Dion Reed had her financial license revoked in perpetuity for having loans in other people's names and spending the money and splitting it with cousins or whatever. And allegedly, that's what the thing said. It had the name, the birth date matched, everything. So who knows? So maybe she asked that question so nobody would bring up her stuff. Who knows? And I don't really know, but I just have thoughts. So I'm back to the Drew of it. So then in Nashville, some of the ladies went to Coyote Ugly, and I thought that was really cute. Because I love that movie Coyote Ugly, the original. Now that was shot in a city, I think it was in New York, and this one was in Nashville. Um, so that's cool. And so they had some of the girls in Coyote Ugly, and then the other girls went to a whiskey tasting. Now, the ones that were in Coyote Ugly, they all had their titties out and stuff like that. And the ones who were in the whiskey place, they were having a good time too. Cynthia got lit. She was tossing them back. She can hang. Now, my liver cannot hang like that. I'm not trying to drink like that. It's never really a drinker. It's usually like maybe a 2 drink tops. Like I would have 2 Jaeger bombs and the rest of the night was water and Red Bulls. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. But I'm not like a drinker. Never really have been. And actually, that's how I found out I was pregnant the first time was because alcohol put me to sleep because my body was like, oh, you don't need this. You're making a baby. And so it started putting me to sleep. And that was the 17 years ago when my relationship with alcohol changed drastically. And I think it was because my body changed after having that baby, you know? Like I used to love a good glass of wine and just be up all night doing stuff. Now I have a glass of wine and it may as well be damn NyQuil because she's down in 5, 4, 3, 2. me. By the way, I have been using mouth tape at night, and I was so scared I wasn't going to be able to breathe through my nose because I usually feel congested in my nose. Even right now, it never really feels like it's totally clear for the whole day. And at night, I feel myself get congested sometimes too. So I had seen this trend about using mouth tape and that it's supposed to get you to REM sleep faster and longer if you breathe only through your nose at night. And that, snoring happens when your mouth is open most of the time. And so it also helps deter snoring, improve REM sleep, makes your jaw form different because instead of 8 hours of having slack jaw, you have 8 hours of, your jaw being aligned. And so anyway, I've been doing it, and I was like, well, let me see if what happens if I don't do it tonight, because I did it 2 times in a row, and I woke up very refreshed. I only woke up once during the night and went right back to sleep. I really felt like it was an improvement. And then last night I decided, let me see if I feel any different in the morning. I woke up yawning this morning. Now it could be because husband had me up late, talking about, can I do him a favor? Can he have a nut? And I was like, you husband, like, come come down. So I don't know if it was that or that, but I did wake up yawning, but it's a good yawn. So I'm going to try the mouth tape again tonight. So now back to the regularly scheduled program, which is Drew Sidora, and why I think she might be more involved in this whole thing than previously indicated. For one, the first indicator is that Ken said she wasn't, and Ken is a fucking liar. Ken is a fucking liar because we Googled what is revenge porn in Georgia, and Ken keeps saying it wasn't because she got the post off of a website for porn or a fan sharing site. And in Georgia specifically, we proved that is a fallacy. In Georgia specifically, that makes it a felony. If you go to a porn site or a file sharing site and retrieve explicit images to harass, terrorize, and intimidate, then it's revenge porn in Georgia. They just upgraded their laws. So I don't know if she talked to somebody. I don't know when she talked to the person about doing this, but they've enhanced their revenge porn laws in Georgia specifically. Okay. An immediate felony is what came up for if you share images from one of those sites with a soliloquy about an insurance fraud hoe charging $1,400 for Snapchats in an effort to embarrass and expose her. That is why your dust devil Ken is gone. And that is why sweet Brit, is still here. Okay? I don't know what the Delulu is out there. Ken didn't have to go nowhere when she threatened Phaedra with a pow pow. That's why Brit don't have to go nowhere when she threatened Ken with a pow pow. We already went over it. The precedent has been set. Croy Beaverman, KKK Kim's husband, came to a whole entire fucking reunion with a gun, and everybody knew. Production, all the wives, everybody, and nothing happened. They let him stay in the studio with his firearm. That's the legend. But now black women talk about firearms in an open carry state, and it's somehow a problem. But white boy Croy can bring a whole pow pow to a reunion on set. Nothing happened then either. Second Amendment, people. There is no amendment for revenge porn. None. But there's a Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, talk about arms. There's an NRA. There are enthusiasts, all kind of stuff. There's no law that was broken by Britt Eady for saying she had pistols and whips. Whew. She's breaking a sweat. She's breaking a sweat. So, okay, so that was all over the place. So now back to the Drew of it. So Drew, I'm trying to think, why is Angela so up Drew's butt? Like, she's like, oh, that's my girl. Did she come on through Angela? I guess. Are they really friends? I don't know. But the way they be checking for each other, but are also playing Brit. It's like they're playing with a mouse. Drew goes to lunch with Britt and says, "So did you sell the cat?" Why are you asking that question? Because you're involved, bitch. That's why, Drew. That's why. Because you're involved, bitch. Why are you repeating to this fine woman what Kenya got fired for? See how Kenya's plan is working? And if I was freaking Britt Eady, I would get right on that with my attorneys because Ken's and to have other people think ill of her is working. It's working. These people are repeating lies back to her, repeating lies if there are facts, as if they're facts. And she's being talked about and questioned because her reputation has been impugned by the things that Ken decided to expose in that moment at her re-grand closing. But why is Drew in on it? She could have just shut the fuck up. She saw how hurt the girl was. And you're gonna follow up a peace brunch with, so were you selling the cat? Because you didn't think she got defensive enough when you guys were questioning her about her thing. They keep wanting this girl to act out of her center too. I also feel that. But she's been very composed and gracious and tries to laugh things off. And Angela and Drew are somehow in on it. So then when they're at the whiskey tasting, bingo, maybe these bitches just don't realize that you took that serious, like it hurt. And they were arguing with Britt, they, as in Angela and Drew, were saying that at the peace brunch, she came in a certain way and this, that, and the other. And that I know, right? And that, and she's like, what do you mean I came in a way? I left the house for the first time in 3 days after crying in my house. So I just came out sad. And you guys are acting like I came in entitled. Is that the word she used? Is that the word Angela Oakley's nose used? Was entitled? I think that bitch did fix her mouth to say entitled. Yeah, entitled to finally leave the house and with my head held high, bitch. That's what entitled was. And it was just a weird line of questioning. And so Britt was able to say, no, imagine how you would feel. Like all that stuff just happened. And then Cynthia chimed in and told the bitches straight out. She said, look, now we're not going to sit up here and play. Like if you got shown with a penis in your mouth, you wouldn't have feelings too. What do you mean she came in defensive? I appreciated Cynthia for being the voice of reason. That's what happens. You get older, you get wise. You're not asking for friend contracts with people. You know, you're wiser. You get wise, and you see the bullshit. You smell the bullshit. So you're able to turn to the next nose and say, "Look, she literally had an image of a penis in her mouth shown to strangers." And you're talking about how she came in. And then Drew said something very telling. This is why Drew's in the shit, you guys. Drew said something very telling. Drew said, well, we were just really missing our friend. Your friend committed a felony. And so you just admitted that you're fucking with Brent because you missed the felon. Why are you checking for Ken unless you were in on it and you don't want her in trouble for the information that you gave her and now you left on the show and she used it, now she off the show, so now you have to sit back and act like I'm all team Ken because it's your fault, Drew. Allegedly. If Ming Lee, Ty, and Drew have anything to do with it, then God let it be revealed. Please let all of it be revealed because these bitches are playing in our face. Oh, well, you can understand that, right? We were just really missing our friend and acting like Brit got Kenya kicked off the show. We'll play this because Brit did not get Kenya kicked off the show. Kenya got Kenya kicked off the show. There was some rapper that recently went viral because he uh, had to go turn himself in because he violated his own probation. To go turn himself in. And a little boy a little boy got at him. Let me see if I can find that video. It's going to have a lot of cussing, but it's like, that's what the people need to tell damn Ken. You can't blame other people for you violating parole. You know what the terms of your parole were. Kenya knows that Bravo, after Scandival, enacted new moral clauses in their contracts. We went over it. We read through the new terminology for Bravo, NBC, and the production companies that had to come up under them. They literally have like a morals clause, and it specifically includes sexual harassment to the point of if a viewer feels sexually harassed, that there's now a complaint form. If a production team member or anybody, a cast member's guest, is how it was worded. Anyone who watches this who feels a certain way now has a right to fill up this thing so that they can have an investigation. And it was enacted after the whole scandal of it all and all of that. New clauses. So everybody's like, oh, worse has been done. Yeah. And the show has evolved because the team has gotten better. But also, what worse has been done than a felony on TV? You know damn well Bravo likes to have felons on TV, but they don't like the felonies to be committed on their film specifically. Think about it. Chrisleys didn't commit their felonies on the film, but they ended up felons. Jen Shaw did commit the felonies on film, but she committed felony. Teresa Giudice didn't commit. Well, she kind of did because the whole reason the feds got involved was when she was walking around with $100,000 cash, talking about, ew, I would never live in somebody else's house. And they were like, but bitch, you just only reported $20,000 on your freaking thingamabob, and we saw you with $100K dropping stacks on ugly ass furniture. So I guess she did kind of commit her felony on film, and that's what got her ass busted. And that must be why they don't want to do it anymore. That was the first and last time a felony got filmed on film. Teresa Giudice and her $100K in her Dooney Burke purse. Remember? Oh, I would never live in a house that's so gross to me. No, that's called life, bitch. Everybody lives in another house usually. You moved into Louis' house, that's another house. Anyway, so who else had a felony over here? Yeah, they like, oh, Erica Jane. Well, I think we actually did. We might be a little complicit in seeing how she spent the money from her felony because she was in receipt of stolen money, living off of the Girardi Keys card. She knew that money was not their personal money because it said Girardi's Keys on the Black American Express card. And so there's that. I can see. I can see that happening. But Ken is the first one after the morals clause enhancement that filmed a felony with their film. She pulled out poster board after poster board after poster board. She gave a speech. She had I haven't heard nothing about the video this season, but allegedly when it all happened, they said there was actual videos up also. But actually in the scene, I didn't even see where any TVs might have been playing. But the rumor had it that allegedly there had been like actual video footage also at one time, but they haven't talked at all about that so far on the season. So do you guys think it's weird that Drew was like checking so hard for Ken? She don't even check that hard for Ralph, and that's her husband, but she's like, oh, we just miss our friend. What? But so what? So you miss your friend, so that means you need to terrorize the new wife? No, you're terrorizing her because you feel bad that whatever you helped Ken do got her kicked off and you still sitting here, but she can't say you did it too, or else she would be a snitch. So she specifically says everybody but Drew. But Drew, the only one that cares. That's just the 2 and 8 that I'm putting together. She said Ken said she talked to a lawyer and he told her that's not revenge porn. Well, I guess the lawyer don't know how to use Google. I guess the lawyer doesn't know how to type in what is revenge porn in Georgia, because that's where it happened. Maybe people aren't putting in the right state or something when they do their searches and try to argue with me about what we already Googled and revealed. Oh, that's not revenge porn. She got it on the thing. She signed a release for it to be shown on that site. If that's true, it would have only been on that site if it's true. It wasn't for Ken to decide and share with other people. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Even Serena has gotten sued before because she reposted pictures of her that were copyrighted by, like, the photographer decided he wanted to own the shots, and she posted them on her Instagram and got sued because she had signed a release to have him take the pictures, but the release didn't include that she could use that shit. Hello? So let me see what these comments are saying. So I'm back here. I see stuff moving. Yes. Yeah, you see me on Snapped. Angela can do no wrong to me. I like her. Good morning, Miss Bugs. Hey, thanks for coming through. Allie from Miami. I'm with Angela. Britt was lucky to still have a job. Note, Kenya got herself off the show, but Britt skated by. I really think Angela just asked a question like, based on what? Mademoiselle, 100%. Well, we replayed it. Let me see. Can I go back? But why would she even ask that? She didn't even give freaking Britt a chance to answer. Let's see. Allie from Miami, we sometimes we agree. But this time you think that Ken did not do revenge porn. Is that what you're saying, Allie? So it doesn't matter to you that Kenya got what she did to Phaedra, and what she did to Phaedra showed an actual pow pow, along with her words, along with the target, and what Britt said was just words. She had no time showed. Hey Linnell, thanks for coming through. She had no time showed a pow pow. Ken did. But hey, Team Twirl, I get it. I get it. People want her to be awesome. And I want her to be awesome too. But she's not. She's not. She's a person that did revenge porn and is probably in competition with her daughter. That's where it's feeling like, you know, unfortunately. Let's see. So that was 20 minutes on the flight. And we are going to go right here. Did you guys heard that squats in dementia? If you guys do a lot of squats, the stronger your legs are, the stronger your mind is. Did you ever hear that? I just heard that. Let's see. Angela just asked a question, like, based on what? And even if she did, just that's fine. So she just asked a question. Britt was already defensive coming into that. Shamia says, oh, Shamia says to Angela and Drew, oh, she told me she lost her license. It kind of felt like a setup right there, too, because they had already talked to Ken. And She was like, oh yeah, it could be suspended or it's suspended or whatever she said. And then Angela was like, she might have said based on what, but if you looked at her posturing along with her tonality, I felt like she was being accusatory in that statement. And Britt could have felt like that too after not getting any compassion or sympathy from other women who have all had dicks in their mouth, but nobody's seen them with a dick in their mouth. They all only got to see Britt have dicks in her mouth. And now you're going to treat her like that and act like you ain't never had a dick in your mouth. I just don't get it. As women, I just don't get how women can support somebody showing your explicit image of a dick in your mouth. So anybody who's co-signing with Ken, in my opinion, is fine. If I ever get a video of your ass sucking dick, I can share it with the world and it's not revenge porn. You have no problem with me doing that to you, to your daughter, to your niece, to your mother, to your grandmother, to any of the females in your family. You have no issue at all with me getting my hands on explicit images of them at any time in their life during whether it was a vulnerable moment or a paid opportunity. You have zero issue with the privacy of a private moment for a Black woman. That's what you're saying to me. And that's not cool. So on that, we looked it up, and all it takes in Georgia, again, this is stuff that's state specific. So if you simply Googled, can you lose your license? Um, can your license be investigated for revenge porn? It might not have said anything. But if you say in Georgia, to get your license investigated, you'll notice that on the Georgia COI commissioner's office or whatever, they say all it takes, go look it up yourself, is a public declaration of fraud. That's all it takes. A public declaration of fraud in Georgia can trigger an investigation into your insurance license. Google it. People are like, how does that happen? It was all over the place. And I bet somebody from Team Twirl called the governor and was like, she's an insurance fraud hoe. I bet. People thought the millimeters were off the hook. These tornado, dust devil, dizzy bitches are way off the hook. They are way off the hook. I would not be surprised if, in addition to the public declaration of being an insurance fraud hoe, that was widely publicized and all over the news everywhere immediately because of Michelle A.T. Aliens on the spot live reporting in real time. It was all over. People who had signed NDAs were like, fuck it. That was the worst thing I ever saw. They was telling within 48 hours, it was everywhere. She said she stayed in her house and cried for 3 days. It was everywhere within 48 hours, along with a call from a dust devil to the insurance board is a public declaration of insurance fraud. That's all it takes. Google it. So it did just happen, and that's how serious they are about fraud. So what, they're going to wait a year? So she's going to make a public declaration that she's an insurance fraud hoe. And uh-oh, are we tripping again? Let's see. Yeah, the thing be going in and out.
Yeah, that's probably here. Lots of signals.
It made my picture disappear. Doesn't like when I share this picture for too long. Make my picture disappear. Let me get this other picture up though. That I had this other one. I don't think, but the main thing to me is that Angela didn't ask out of concern. Angela did not ask out of concern. Angela doesn't care about Britt. She's made that clear. Angela cares about Ken. The only thing she cares about Britt is to use what Ken said about Britt against her. That's the only thing. I kind of do have a problem with is that this one? I have a little bit with Angela and the way she's coming at Britt. Compassion, zero empathy. But then again, we are talking to Angela, who doesn't even know how old her 25, 24-year-old daughter is, and her own daughter don't even want to tell her she's married. So maybe that's Angela's relationship with women too, is that she's not a girl's girl, that her own daughter don't even want to talk to her ass. Who knows? But the accusatory tone in which she asked was it was hostile. It wasn't like, oh my God, Britt, what happened? What could be the reason? That could have been the tone of the ask, and we all would have known for sure that Angela was at least pretending to have compassion for the situation. But what Angela did was drop her bass in her voice and be like, oh, wow, how could that happen? And put her arm up and her posture and everything, like, you're lying, bitch. And then practically was arguing with her about lying and didn't even give her a chance to say what happened. Well, at least we didn't see it. It got edited out. And she was telling us that it triggered an investigation, plain and simple. Good evening, Krista Marie. Hi, beautiful. I'm glad I made it. Oh, yay! Oh my God. So I totally just started off. I don't know if I could keep doing the Valley, Krista. I'll come up with you and stuff, but I don't know if I could keep watching because I kind of feel like after I watched Sandoval that season, where everything's a lie. So on the Valley, they're basically just fucking high on coke and alcoholics, having come down dinners all the time, and we're hard of it. And I don't really like that for entertainment. Freaking old cokeheads. I don't like. I thought it was roid rage. It's like hope, come down rage. That's not fun to watch for entertainment, and nobody gets in trouble. It's just so weird. I don't know if I can watch. I don't know if I can watch, but I'll definitely come through and support. But I did get through the first two episodes. But after that, I started seeing Jax live on his TikTok in real time. And it's all bullshit what we're seeing on the show right now. It's all BS because he's not changed and it's only for the show. And so seeing the juxtaposition between what's happening in real life and him pretending, Jack specifically pretending to clean himself up on the show, but in real life, like he's totally glamorizing being a fucking cokehead still. I just think it's the wrong. I don't know if I can participate. I was really and then the more I think about Kristen getting a redo times and reported false police reports like Karen, and all those motherfuckers have a job. I'm very triggered. Nene Leakes is on fucking YouTube for saying racism existed at Bravo, and everybody that got fired for being a fucking racist has a spinoff. It's not fucking fair, and I'm triggered, and I'm not going to participate. I'm not. I'm not going to watch racists get a spinoff. They're not going to get one view off me no more. I'm not watching that fucking shit. I'm not. So Kristen can go teach her baby how to be a fucking racist. So Jax can abuse his kid while he's a fucking cokehead. But they were all racist. They all got fired for being racist towards Faith Stour, who hasn't worked yet, and Nene Lee, no job or a spinoff, because she reported what these motherfuckers did, and they all got a spinoff. I'm triggered. I can't. I can't. But I will come support you, of course. Let's see. Yeah, that was a lot. Is this gonna pop up and show buddy? Does it come back? I don't know if it feels like participating anymore. What's going on? There I am. So I was like, what's going on? We have a problem. I believe so. And the problem is Portia and people like Portia who want to like attack people's marriages. I already said how it's kind of feeling very reminiscent of how when Portia had her eyes on Fallon's life, now Portia has her eyes on Angela's husband's life, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's why I'll come support. So you can make people aware of his lies and fuckery. He's a fucking cokehead. He is being punished. Oh, I can't wait to see you flip out about it. Yeah, for sure. Because, yeah, Jax is too much. Racism triggers me. I'm sorry. I don't want to see racism for entertainment. And until they do right by Nene Leakes, see, it would be different to me if Nene Leakes had a spinoff and the racists had a spinoff. That would feel like equity. That would feel like equal. That would feel like, what's the word? Well, not even equal or equity, but it would feel better. How can you get fired for being a racist, but Nene can't say Bravo Harvard is a racist work environment? And people, they literally had a mass firing. 8 fools got fired in the same month from freaking Bravo for being racist. And they had known about it for 2 years and didn't do anything about it till George Floyd. So it happened in 2018. They didn't fire the people until 2020. Nene sued them also, I think in 2020. So it was trying to, for appearances sake, to make it look like what Nene said isn't true because, oh, look, we handle our racists. We just did a mass firing. But it was all just for show because they hired every single one of those fucks back. It's really, really bad. But the Queen of Thoughtlandia got drunk, and Portia was being too much actress in this episode. I feel like she was a very bad actress. And did you notice also she whatever she needed does, Portia tries to do? Portia has a big Shamia has a big house. Portia's squatting in a big house. Shamia has an African. Portia's on the hunt for a new African. Shamia has a Rolls Royce. Portia's squatting in a Rolls Royce. Shamia has a great relationship with her mother, and so does Portia. You know, and so just every little thing. Shamia got a phone call in the beginning of the episode that had her very upset and crying. And Portia at the end of the episode got a phone call that made her very upset and had her acting like a bitch. So she just does everything Shamia does. She's flopping with thoughts. Yeah, the copycat. Portia the copycat. Yes, Thoughtlandia. Remember? Totally from Thoughtlandia. Remember, she used to be all proud of that. I'm the princess of Thoughtlandia. Now you're queen, and you're about to make your daughter the princess of Thoughtlandia. You need to be careful. I don't, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I'm just so old school, you guys. I'm from the time when like your parents kind of put themselves over there so they could have life over here and made certain sacrifices and were kind of selfless in a way. But it seems like these IG parents, these new IG parents, are like they don't care if the child is right there while they're shaking their clappers on IG. Hey, time I would never do that in front of a little kid. But Portia is always getting dressed with PJ right there. She's always clapping her butt and shaking her butt and putting her butt in the camera. And that's sending a direct message to her little girl that this is what women need to do. And it's not true. And that's is weird. Portia is the Timu version of Shania with tariffs, girl, and she got tariffs, and we terrified. We terrified. She got tariffs. She's the Timu. Thoughtlandia, the Timu, queen of Thoughtlandia. It's just so cheap, you know? And you don't have to be like a sex vixen your whole life. I kind of appreciate Angela's classy, demure, sweaty ways, you know? She doesn't dress all like the other ladies. She's like reserved. All the other ladies are wearing pasties under crochet tops, and they all have daughters at home. I'm just like, what woman literally goes out? Who does that? I don't see nobody in California, and they could just walking around Winco or going to the night bar with pasties on their tits. I just so much geriatric girls gone wild happening. Hear you, Milo. And it's just weird to have these mixed messages about being a woman and womanhood and camaraderie and sisterhood being very convoluted. And I would appreciate it if we could get back on track with like a form of a normal relationship. Because, like I keep saying, I don't know who's hanging out with a Portia in real life. I don't know who is hanging out with. Simply goes around stealing other people's husbands and making moves and saying shit out the side of their neck. I don't know that in real life. I'm not. I would not feel safe with a Portia and Drew, obviously. I don't know. I kind of still feeling like Drew has a lot to do with it. Look, shall proceed. Shall I proceed? Yes, you shall. I completely agree. They have children. It even has an effect on sons. Exactly. Because then sons are going to think that that's what women need to do. And they're going to, what's that word? Damn, my word left this morning. But you know, they could sexually exploit women or feel like women are just like to look at. Why doesn't Portia show us how smart her own daughter? She was on her live the other day in Simon's house. She was on a live in Simon's house the other day, the house she's squatting in. And she had Dennis over and they were making hot dogs. And she was telling the story about how PJ knows her mom is stupid. PJ knows her mom is stupid to the point where she's like, Mom, you know, you're not so smart, but luckily you have me. She said that on the thing. I was like, see, I knew that tape about the wrong days of the year was going to get back to her. They think that they don't give it to them, but the little kids at school be like, oh, look, your mom is stupid. She thinks there's 200 days in a year. Oh, look, your mom is dumb. She thinks the Underground Railroad is the Metro Rail. Oh, look, your mom is dumb. And she's like, that's okay. You have me. Let me see. Can I find the clip? I'm going to try to find this clip of Portia saying that. But we definitely have a problem. And you know what the worst part about it is? That the way that Portia is, from what they say, that's how her, from what they say, that's how her mom was. So that means that's literally how PJ's going to be. I think the rumor is that Diane stole somebody's husband too. Okay, I think this is the story. She was like, "That's why sometimes I had." Well, I literally said that. I thought, well, yeah, you know, like okay, there. Uncomfortable shape class. Not anymore because I found I currently have this morning, right? So this morning I'm getting her dressed. She says to me, she says, Mommy, she says, Mommy, yeah, so pay to go to college. And I was like, well, and I was like, well, you know what? You're gonna be smarter than Mommy. And that's good. And she was like, I mean, it's okay. And I said, so I saw her face and I said, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt a little judged. So I said, wait a minute.
Mommy did go to AIU. You know, I went to college, and so she was like, "Oh, well, what kind of college?" I didn't expect that question. So I said, "Well, it's an online college," and I was like, "I didn't finish," and she was like, "Oh," she was like, "It's okay." She was like, "That's why sometimes I have to explain things to you." And she was like, "Well, what about grandmother? Did grandmother go to college?" I said, "Yes, grandmother went to the University of Georgia, and she graduated." She's like, so she came over to me and put her hand on my shoulder and said, "It's okay, mommy. I can tell you stuff." She thinks it's funny. So I went a step further. And now I ain't gonna stop because now we toe to toe. You six, but we toe to toe. So I said, okay. So well, I owned a business. So, at the time, I just went to college to learn computer programming. And once I learned computer programming, and she was like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Yeah." So I went on to, finish running my daycare. Like I had daycare, like grandma. Da, da, da. After all, she still said, "It's okay though, mommy. It's okay if you don't know things. I know things. You better brush your teeth. You brush your teeth."
Isn't that a lot? Like her own daughter. Like, okay, so I don't know if I would be like really laughing at that a lot. My 7-year-old, like, are you smarter than a fifth grader? At Portia's house, no. How old is PJ? She's like, is she even in fifth grade yet? And she knows her mom is dumb. But her mom is not concerned with that as long as she's looking like this, I guess. Like, I don't know, would that make anybody in the chat want to go get like another class or something so your daughter doesn't think you're freaking remedial? The apples don't fall far from the tree. That's what we're saying. Apples and trees shall I proceed. Apples and trees. Okay? Okay. And even my own husband, he's like, well, you watch this junk on TV. It's not good for you. You shouldn't watch that shit. It's not good. And I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like maybe he's right because this is an entertainment. I'm not with going on a show for housewives and having one or two active thoughts among you so that your marriage is under threat from a coworker at that, and you're at a job where you can't technically put hands on that bitch. How dare Portia? How dare that thought, Portia? You know what thought is? T that. H ho. O over. T there. That ho over there. Thought. The queen of those hoes over there, Landia. Thought problem. That hoe over there problem. That's hoe behavior on a housewife show. And I know the word housewife starts off, but it doesn't end there. Therefore, we got a problem because it's for housewives, not hoes. She needs to go over to Jocelyn's cabaret. Sweet bitch, get off the screen. Go to Jocelyn's cabaret right now. But you know Jocelyn will whoop your ass. She's not going over there. She only trying to fight old ladies. She only trying to fight Cynthia's and Ken's. She not trying to fight Jocelyn's. But that's the kind of energy she's given as a Jocelyn Cabaret member. Yeah. And I'm not with it. Housewives, not Hawaii, not hoes. The real hoes of Atlanta. No, the word is housewife. H-O-U-S, not H-O-E 304. But that could be why her daughter thinks she's dumb. She's like, Mom, it's housewives, not hoes. I don't know. Did anyone see Deshaun Snow? She looks good. Yes. Saw that and saw our girl Michelle got to go back over for the entertainment portion also. Deshaun was looking very good. Very good. She has a podcast too, Deshaun Snow. And I did see that. It was a cute little interview. She was so quiet on the show. That's why she only had made it one season. At least Lisa Wu got in the bathtub with old boy and was trying to make a baby illegally. But I remember Deshaun being kind of quiet and not too entertaining, like very kind of shy almost. Yeah, that's why and then she was like, I was shocked they didn't ask me back, but you literally didn't give anything. The house was nice. Remember, they all had those big new houses. They were all just fresh built in that year that the show came out. Now the houses are all 20 years old. But she and the dude had just had that custom house built, and her and Lisa Wu too. They had that other custom house built. Yep. Um, in the LD2, I'm not sure. I'll just in Del2, 50K people already watching Portia new video while 12 haters are watching yours. Exactly. Exactly. And all the hoes can go watch Portia's new video in delay. In delay. And you're one of the haters too. And Cat Williams says, I need one more. So why don't you call a friend? Why don't you dial in and call a friend and get one of your hater friends to come over here and hate on me some more? Because Cat Williams says I need at least 20 of you bitches. How about that? Thanks for the view, though. You really helped me out today. Thank you so much. Yeah, Portia is Queen of Thoughtlandia. You don't see it? I literally said she's Queen of Thoughtlandia. Why are you coming over here arguing? We saying the same thing. Portia is Queen of Hoes over there, Landia. Yeah, deal with it. Deal with it. You come in here, you don't know I like to play? I like to play. And you got something else? What? What? Come on. You over here too, ho. You know birds of a feather flock together. You know birds of a feather flock together, right? So are you a thought? Are you a thought? Is that why you're all in on this? Why you hate is because she's beautiful. No, I love beauty. The reason you hate is because you don't have nothing else to do with your time than to come up in here. But I appreciate you being in here. Can somebody smash the heart button so we can get more people to get entertained by what's about to go down? Because you in the wrong one. Well, actually, you in the right one. I love playing with haters. Come on. Come on. Tell me some more stuff about some shit you don't know nothing about. Please tell me some more. I've already said she's beautiful. There's nothing to hate on beauty. What I hate is that she acts like show. What? Yeah, 50,000 people went and watched the Thoughts video. Oh, and look, now I got 16 haters in here. I want 20 though. So why don't you go tell 4 more of your friends to come over here? Come over here. What? She's still a thought? She used to love being called Princess of Thoughtlandia. She really took that and made it her own, huh? She coveted Fallon's husband, and now she's coveting Charles. Uh-huh. The whole time she's coveting Shamia's life. Copycat. She can't act. It was a horrible episode on Sunday because of her not acting well. Shamia was upset, so she needed to try to be upset. Such a fakey McFakerson. So much faking McFuckerson's happening over there. She's still a hoe. That hoe over there is acting hoe. And we have a thought problem because you're queen of Thoughtlandia. How about that? Nothing? Did the person leave? You still here? Arsenio Hall in drag! Oh my god! That's a good one! Oh my god! She does! Oh my gosh! She does look like Arsenio Hall in drag! Remember Arsenio's Hall used to be so high that his butt was so high on his back he could put his wallet in his pocket by reaching over his shoulder? Remember they used to say that about Arsenio Hall? Yeah, she's giving total friend up vibe. And Portia, Phaedra coming. So now we're going to get a friend of a liar and a hoe. Phaedra, now we have two geriatric thoughts. Two geriatric thoughts, single, not housewives. And everybody's so mad. I'm married to medicine. Quad's not married to a doctor. And everybody's like, she needs to be off the show. She not married to medicine. She not married to medicine. But nobody gives a fuck if you're a housewife on a housewife show. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Nobody gives a fuck about that. But I'm married to medicine. You better be married to medicine. Weirdos. Fucking weirdos. Speaking of weirdos, I'm married to medicine. Did you see Sweet and Sour? I wonder how Bravo feels about Sweet and Sour taking the concept of Married to Medicine and doing another show called Doctors' Wives Married to Medicine. Ooh, isn't that kind of like an intellectual infringement? Don't they have some kind of non-compete clause in their shit where they're not allowed to take the idea or the premise of the show and go on to another similar show? How is Sweet and Sour allowed to do this unless she's not coming back? Because her and her little friends, oh, and there's a doctor in it. So she literally is not just wives of husbands that are married to medicine. There's literally a doctor is one of them. So she's trying to redo what's already been done great before she got here. She is such another copycat. Her and Portia. So the way that Portia is the Timu version of Shamia, yeah, Sweet and Sour is the Timu version of Married to Medicine. They already did it. She's the Timu version of Quad. And she's another copycatter. Dr. Heavenly helps people with their finances and helps Black families and is a relationship expert. And what does Sweet Tea now say she is? A relationship expert, and she wants to help people with their finances. And then Quad has sweet and savory seasoning, sass, and has had it for a long time. And then here comes Sweet and Sour talking about she has sweet and savory meetings or some shit. So she copied Quad. No, she copied Quad and hasn't stopped. She's a full-on intellectual property infringer. She's a walking infringement on intellectual property. She doesn't have an original thought. People place thoughts in her head, obviously, because so far, even the teas that she's coming out with, Dr. Heavenly gave her the idea to do herbal teas or something like that, she had told the girl. And so now she's like, oh, we don't do enough medicine on Married to Medicine. Bitch! They never did medicine on Married to Medicine. Weirdo. Sweet and Sour and her abuser, Dr. G, are the answer to our prayers for Married to Medicine. And now they're going to have a show on YouTube. You can go look at it on her YouTube channel. They did a little something the other day where somebody reached out to somebody else and somebody else reached out to somebody else. And now there's 4 dodos. I'm calling them dodos because Married to Medicine is already happening. We already have a doctor's wife show. It's called Married to Medicine. It's been on for a decade, bitch. Act like you just reinvented the wheel. She always act like she just took something and made it better. No, you just stole a fucking idea. I hope somebody sues this bitch. Oh, she needs to get sued and stop. Copyright infringement, brand infringement. I mean, you name it and she's doing it. She's like, oh, I'm in the medical field. Claude doesn't have anything to do with medical. Claude has a degree in biology, bitch. And she was in pharmaceuticals. Oh, I work in the medical field. No. She acts like what she does is way more than important than anything Quad is. It's so weird. Did you guys see the show? that Sweet and Sour has, Married to Medicine. And they all dressed up in pink and they all do little things. And then they were all asking questions and they want to have a podcast and talk about medical stuff because she's trying to fix Married to Medicine because everything's wrong. But now she's going to come and she's going to fix it. It's so weird. So weird. Let's see. Did the person come back? I loved Arsenio Hall too. Portia was given. Shall I proceed? I promise you. That's all I see. Yep, is Arsenio Hall in drag. Yep. Oh, look, the person came back. Until y'all are just miserable. Some things, she says, aren't meant to be taken seriously. Y'all just boring and sensitive. It's interesting that people can recognize when somebody is saying something that's not meant to be taken seriously and can assign it to a woman who's already slept with several husbands and then say that this particular time we